Yeah, I guess it looked like you were getting into him a little bit over there. How did you think the first practice went overall, and what maybe you tell them?
Well, I mean, it's training, right? You're training to play, and it's this whole theme of like, let's take preparation to performance. Today was a chance to do that in a practice setting, and we just, as the year goes on, we just have to grow and mature and develop in terms of our competitive spirit. Winning's an attitude, winning's a skill that you practice, and my responsibility is to be intense when I need to be intense to make sure we're pulling that forward. So it's practice one, day one. I mean, listen, the rhythm, timing, execution, that'll clean up. The attitude, the effort, the intentionality on the field, that's what I want to see take a jump in a day. Yeah.
How often have you seen that? How often have you felt to show that?
Well, I mean, I think being effective is picking and choosing your moments, but they see my intensity every day. They do. I mean, we talk truthfully to each other, and most times I can do that in a normal tone, but there are going to be times when they need to feel it a little more. So it's not new to them.
So a lot of guys getting a lot of reps with a lot of different units. Obviously, I mean, that's important for day one, and I assume for a little while just to have different guys feel new different guys.
Yeah, we're sorting through a depth chart, so we'll kind of proceed that way through the next week and a half, and then hopefully things will start to crystallize as guys separate. But we need to give them a chance to compete here early on.
The quarterbacks, you're going to share reps with the top three. Is that going to be the plan for a while?
Early on here, the length of time will be just according to where it kind of separates out. But early on, we're going to see, it's about establishing some chemistry, and not only just with the one group of quarterbacks, but also with the receivers too. So they're going to split time to make sure each person gets a chance to compete. But as soon as it starts to separate, that'll show up on the field too.
I think you've lost some guys at running back. You're pretty thin in terms of numbers right now. How do you feel about what you've got in that spot?
Well, I love those guys. We're young, and so we're finding out some of the new guys. We're finding out about them on the field. But Ray and Rocco have been they've been so consistent for us through the spring, in the summer, and so I'm pleased with them and excited for them, and then bring the young guys along and let's see what we got.
Do you just normal fall camp in terms of the running backs, or is there an effort to try to make sure that group stays healthy since there's only 4 guys?
Well, I think right now we have to manage the player loading, right? We have to make sure that we're able to stretch this preparation over a month. Obviously, with the helmets only practice, the volume will increase as we get into padded practices. But right now, certainly we got an eye on getting through camp and training this team to play in games.
What do you think are the key traits that it takes, a true freshman needs to be able to play in the SEC?
Oh, I mean, there's got to be a mindset to that. Certainly, I mean, it's there's an attitude, and for us, that's going to take time in fall camp to decipher who's got it and who doesn't. Obviously, taking advantage of situations to make plays and a maturity around, and I think this is true of playing as a freshman in any environment, a maturity around how I handle training camp, right? So this is going to become, the volume's going to become more for them, and managing that from a recovery standpoint, from a rest standpoint, and then also, staying engaged with the playbook. It'll take some time to figure out who's going to be ready to play.
I believe you got some players finishing up summer school. What does that affect what you're doing?
We just shift schedule around to accommodate. In terms of the amount of time we spend with the guys, it doesn't change. It just, practicing later to make sure there's time in the day to take care of all of it. We don't want to miss guys during practice, so we want to make sure we got the full squad here when we have the opportunity to be out here together.
Defensively, how are things looking in terms of installing the new scheme, and what's the timeline in terms of figuring out who fits best and learning all the new playbook and everything?
Well, it's day one, so there's a lot in. I think we're further along. I mean, we are further along than we were in the springtime. But when you talk about defense, you're going to talk about shifting gears when it comes to third down installation, shifting gears when it comes to tight red zone goal line. And so the volume's going to shift pretty dramatically. But, we have a few guys that I think have been, since the spring, pretty steady for us. We have injured guys that are returning. And so, it'll be fun to watch those guys compete and may the best man win in the end. But, we feel pretty good about where we are at that point.
Who are your main voices on defense?
Davian Davis has been a guy that's been pretty steady since we got here. Elijah McAllister is another one. Anthony Orgy, at the safety position, Max Worship has been a guy that's been, that stepped up for us. Jerkins too. I mean, we have a good group of experienced players that, they're gaining their confidence too, because this is still new, But we're pleased with that group, how it's maturing in terms of the leadership.
How would you say Ken and Mike have progressed since spring, since you had them?
They both have matured as leaders. They both matured in the way they trained in the summer. I think we'll look at practice film to see, where the reads are right and not. Both of them made throws and plays today, but I wouldn't want to, pass judgment just yet until we have a chance to see it.
Alex Williams is a guy who transferred from Ohio State and didn't get to see him last year because we couldn't really see him in the spring. What are you seeing out of him in terms of fitting in with what you're looking to do?
He's got the physical tools, and he's got the right attitude heading into camp to help us. And obviously his size, speed, athleticism, those are things that will certainly translate onto the field. We just got to see him grow in this as a part of this team. He grows as a part of this team, is a great teammate. He's got a chance to help us win games.